plus ESPN Radio on Sirius XM, Channel 80, plus ESPN Radio simulcast over the live national television airways of ESPN News. The number to call up, as always, is 888-SAY-ESPN. That's 888-729-3776. The Stephen A. Smith Show is being brought to you by Credit Karma. Get your truly free credit scores and free credit monitoring from Credit Karma today. That's Credit Karma, K-A-R-M-A. Get knowing. Time for Straight Talk, brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless. Best phones, best networks, no contracts. Look, my apologies to the city of Boston, the city of champions these days. They are the reigning, defending World Series champions, along with the reigning, defending Super Bowl champions. We can't ignore that reality. But your reign of terror upon New Yorkers and Yankee fans. Yeah! Stand up, Bronx! Stand up, New York! This is what it's all about, baby! This is what it's all about. This is what I've been waiting for. The opening of the Major League Baseball season is here. Whoa! What's up, everybody? Welcome to the latest edition of the Stephen A. Smith Show, coming at you as I love to do every weekday over the airwaves of ESPN Radio and ESPN News, 250 plus markets across the United States of America. Check your AM, FM listening nearest you. Check that dial nearest you. Plus ESPN Radio on Sirius XM, Channel 80, plus ESPN Radio simulcast over the live national television airways of ESPN News. The number to call up, as always, is 888-SAY-ESPN. That's 888-729-3776. The Stephen A. Smith Show is being brought to you by Credit Karma. Get your truly free credit scores and free credit monitoring from Credit Karma today. That's Credit Karma, K-A-R-M-A. Get knowing. Time for Straight Talk, brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless. Best phones, best networks, no contracts. Look, my apologies to the city of Boston, the city of champions these days. They are the reigning, defending World Series champions, along with the reigning, defending Super Bowl champions. We can't ignore that reality. But your reign of terror upon New Yorkers and Yankee fans everywhere will come to an end this year. It'll come to an end this year. Now, why do I say such things? I have no damn idea. I'm emotional when it comes to my Yankees. Somewhere along the way, Buster Olney, Tim Kirkchin, and everybody else, Jet Passer, let's not forget them. They're all laughing at me. They like laughing at me. Because they know that I get very, very emotional about my New York Yankees. Not so much about the Mets. Not so much about the Mets. I leave that to Don Juan LaGreca, Michael K's sidekick on the Michael K Show on 98.7 FM in New York City every weekday. I'll let him get emotional about the Mets. I'm just proud that the Mets finally did something right in signing Jacob deGrom to that 5-year, $137.5 million contract. Same amount of money Jimmy Garoppolo is making in the NFL. No parallel there, just give you the numbers. But I'll get to the New York Mets sometime later. Forgive me if I don't think that they're that relevant. Forgive me if I don't think that the Mets are that relevant, because I don't expect them to be healthy. And because I don't expect them to be healthy, I don't expect them to be better than the Braves. I don't expect them to be better than the Nationals, who they're starting to play right now in the nation's capital. I don't expect them to be better than the Phillies, who now have Bryce Harper. So forgive me if I'm not going to be sold on the Mets. I'll be damned if I'm not sold on my Yankees, though. And I understand that the Yankees have formidable opposition. Some people are picking them as the favorites. Until further notice, they're actually the third best team in the American League, because that's how it finished last year. Yankees had 100 wins last year, ladies and gentlemen. But you know something? The Houston Astros had 103. You know something else? The Boston Red Sox had 108. So not only were they the third best team in the American League, based on record alone last year, if you really look at it, and you want to call a spade, on paper, the Yankees are the third best team now? I mean, just look at the reigning, defending World Series champions. Just look at them right now. When you look at the Boston Red Sox, Chris Sale, he signed to a new contract extension, shoulder injury and all, he's locked in at an average of about $30 million a year over the next 3 years, even though it's a 5-year deal. Bottom line is Chris Sale is there. David Price has proven himself in the postseason. Shut up all naysayers, he's there. Porcello is there. Evaldi is there. Eduardo Rodriguez, he's there. So when you look at it from that perspective, and you look at the outfield of the Boston Red Sox, from Benintendi to Bradley Jr., and of course, the great Mookie Betts with J.D. Martinez as your DH. I mean, come on. There's no denying that the Boston Red Sox deserve to be the favorite, but damn it, I don't believe that lightning is striking in a bottle twice. I don't believe that you can have the kind of year that you had last year, Boston Red Sox. You are going down. Clearly, it's an emotional position that I'm taking, but nevertheless, I'm entitled. Because I'm a diehard Yankee fan, ladies and gentlemen. And I don't know if I've ever shared this story with y'all on a personal level. So I'm going to just do it right now. I'm just going to get a little personal. Stevie A going to get a little personal with y'all. I usually don't let people in. I don't like this age of reality TV where everybody's talking their personal business over social media. That disgusts me. When I'm talking on sports, social media, I'm talking about sports. I'm talking about what my job entails. My personal life ain't none of your damn business. And I personally believe in this Kardashian-stained world that we're living in, somebody needs to have that kind of attitude like me. Where you keep your personal business out of the equation. However, there are exceptions. Looking at my man JC and Jonathan, there are exceptions. And those exceptions arrive when you have a little personal story, a little personal anecdotes that you could throw out to the viewing and listening public, because after all, even though Stevie A loves the kids, he sure does. It's not just the kids I love. I love all my listeners. I love my viewers. I love my supporters. So I'm going to share something with you. I was born in the Bronx, New York. I was raised in Hollis, Queens. Been living in Hollis, Queens, or I was living in Hollis, Queens since the time I was 1.5 years old. Ladies and gentlemen, before there was a Citi Field, there was something called Shea Stadium. When you look at Fresh Meadows, Flushing Meadows, and you just see the ball there was no Arthur Ashe Tennis Center there. That's where we used to go, Flushing Meadow Park. That's where we used to go to have picnics on Sunday afternoons. It's when the world was a safer, more gentle place. Listen to me sounding like I'm 80 years old. The point that I'm trying to make to you is that Hollis, Queens is about 10 minutes from Flushing Meadow. It's about 10 minutes from the old Shea Stadium, which, and now you got Citi Field there. I grew up about 10 to 15 minutes away from there. You had to get through there to go to the Bronx. You could take the Throgs Neck, take that to the Cross Bronx Expressway, roll that way to Yankee Stadium, or you could take the E or the F train from Queens. You could connect to the D train, and the D train will take you to Yankee Stadium. All of that's true. But essentially, it was easier to get to the Mets than the Yankees. Ladies and gentlemen, I was never allowed to watch the Mets. My father, God rest his soul, had a rule in his house. There's no exaggeration, fellas. I never saw the Mets until I was 18 years old. Wasn't allowed to go to Mets games. Wasn't allowed to watch the Mets on TV. We were a Yankee house. Die hard. My father loved the Yankees so much and detested the Mets so much, he was appalled that the Mets had pinstripes. It was blasphemous to him. Sacrilegious to him. That the New York Mets would even have pinstripes. But that's neither here nor there. The point that I'm trying to make to you is that before I made sports my profession, I barely knew there was another baseball team in New York City because my father wouldn't allow it. These were about the New York Yankees. And when you look at the New York Yankees today, and you look at the expectations that have been placed on their shoulders, it's nothing new. As far as we're concerned, this is where it's supposed to be. I see the Boston Red Sox. I see what they've assembled. I see the fact that they're champions. I get all of that. And I look at some question marks about the New York Yankees. I look at Severino not being ready to go opening day. I look at CC Sabathia not ready to go as well, approaching the last year of his contract, age 37. This is it for him. I'm seeing all of this. And I got to tell you something. I don't care. As I look at the Yankees now, I like the fact that Paxton is here now. J.A. Happ, I'm not sold on him to come postseason time. This kid Paxton, we'll see what he has. Can't wait for Severino and these boys to get back. But here's the reality of the situation. Chapman is still your closer. Sanchez, he's got some things to prove. And everybody want to act like he's such a scrub or whatever the case may be. I don't view Sanchez that way. He's got to improve. Particularly in keeping the ball in front of him instead of letting him go by him, even though that was about just 3% of the time. But in the end, I look at Sanchez. I look at Torres. I look at Andujar. I like the fact that Tulowitzki is here, at least until Gregorius comes back. Giancarlo saying I expect big things from him. That's why you're gonna miss the $325 million contract. Aaron Judge, I expect big things from him. He's healthy now. Gardner's still here, Bird's still here. I get all of this. The Yankees have a crew. Nobody's got a bullpen like the Yankees. Should say anybody, but most teams don't. I'm expecting the Yankees to handle their business. But I'll tell you something right now. As great as the Boston Red Sox have been, I got news for you. I'm more worried about the Houston Astros. I really am. I mean, I just look at this road. Listen, Verlander's still there. I love Verlander. I'm a huge, huge Verlander fan. Jericolo's no scrub either. Yankees would know something about that. Molly McHugh, all of these guys. These guys can play. I remember Altuve being hurt last year. There was issues with Bregman as well. Now they're both back. Correa as well. He's back. Brantley's there. Good pickup. Spring is still there. I'm just looking at them right now. And they won 103 games last year. I'm not underestimating the Houston Astros by any stretch of the imagination. Make no mistake about it. They're formidable. They were champions 2 years ago. They won 103 games last year. It is a mistake to count them out. Plain and simple. But Boston's the creme de la creme. That, to me, is the American League. I don't care about anybody else in the American League. I know Mike Trout made noise because he's got a 12-year, $426 million deal. And he deserves every penny. And congratulations to him. Angels ain't going anywhere, though. Not for at least another year or two. What am I supposed to be sold on? Detroit? How about Seattle? Am I really supposed to be sold? I'm not. I'm just not. And I don't know enough about those teams. See, when it comes to baseball, unlike basketball, unlike football, I don't care about prognostications when it comes to baseball. I don't care about that, Jonathan. That doesn't matter to me. What I care most about is after I see you. So I'll be talking about baseball as the season progresses, as the games are played. By the way, Robinson Cano, formerly of the New York Yankees, then played with the Seattle Mariners after signing that 10-year, $240 million deal the Yankees wouldn't give him. He is a New York Met now. His first at-bat as a New York Met, his first regular season game, he just smacked a home run. Off Max Scherzer. Because we all know what a bad boy Scherzer is. Robinson Cano just hit a blast. Just hit a home run. That brother can play. We know that. We get all that. Let's see if it lasts. Let's see if it lasts. The Yankees have been fine without him, even though I never wanted him to leave. I'll admit that. I never wanted him to leave. But Robinson Cano just hit a blast. I couldn't see the TV from this angle. Jonathan, is that a solo shot? 2-run blast? Solo shot? Solo shot. That's what it is. So Robinson Cano is here. Get Cespedes back. Keep your pitchers healthy. And maybe, just maybe, I'll believe in the New York Mets. Maybe, just maybe, I'll think they could do something. I know what DeGrom can do. Syndergaard, I know what he can do when healthy. But can he stay healthy? Can Wheeler stay healthy? Can Matt stay healthy? Can Vargas stay healthy? I don't know. These are the Mets. I don't know if it's something in the water in Queens or something. I don't know what the hell's going on with them. Can't seem to stay healthy. Let's see what happens. But I'm just looking at their roster right now. I know you got Cano there. Lowry, Rosario, Conforto. I mean, what am I supposed to believe in this? Ramos, what am I supposed to believe? I just don't know. I just don't know. We'll see. 888, say ESPN. It's 888-729-3776. I had Jessica Mendoza come on First Take this morning. First Take airs every weekday morning, 10 a.m. to 12 noon on ESPN Eastern Standard Time, 7 to 9 a.m. Pacific. Jessica Mendoza sits there and says, hey, she's going with the Red Sox until further notice because they're the reigning defending champions. Obviously, she's looking at the Yankees as formidable. She's looking at the Houston Astros as formidable, of course. But then she goes to the National League East and says it's the best division in baseball. I don't understand why. Because they got Bryce Harper. Bryce Harper was voted the most overrated player in the MLB, according to a poll by The Athletic, polling other Major League Baseball players, anonymously, of course. Here's the deal. I think they're calling him overrated because of the money he's getting paid. $330 million over 13 years for Bryce Harper. I think that's what they're sweating. Me personally, I'm not thinking it along those lines. I think he was awful in the first half of the season when he was batting just .214 last year with the Nationals. Came on strong in the second half, batted about 300. Can that continue? It remains to be seen. The Nationals, I don't know what they're going to be without him. The Mets, I don't believe in them. So I'm just going to watch and see things unfold because I haven't seen enough of these folks, don't know enough about these folks to give you a definitive position about them. I know this much, though. I know my Yankees. I know them. And I can tell you this right now. I'm tired of seeing the Yankees get to the postseason and then going home so early. I'm tired of seeing their pitching coming up short. A couple of years ago when they went up against the Astros, that was an epic series. And they beat the Indians before that. That was something special to behold. And seeing Aaron Judge and Sanchez and those boys, those cardiac kids, a.k.a. the Bronx Bombers, respond like Bronx Bombers are supposed to, was very, very beautiful to see. But then they'd go to Houston against that pitching, and you just knew they wouldn't have enough. So we shall see. Time will tell. I'll be watching. Yankees, you see the acquisitions. Paxton, DJ, Adam Ottavino, Troy Tulowitzki. Not bad. Not bad at all. I wasn't sold on Sonny Gray at all. Might miss McCutcheon a little bit. Lance Lynn, Robertson, whatever. I'm interested in seeing what Paxton does, though. I am interested in seeing that. 888, say ESPN is always the number to call up. It's 888-729-3776. You are listening live to the Stephen A. Smith Show, ESPN Radio, ESPN News. I want to transition to a little basketball for a couple of reasons. Number one, this MVP race that everybody keeps talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to be very, very clear because you got listeners in Milwaukee out there too, and I want everybody to understand. I understand the Greek freak is a freak of nature. Gained like 57 pounds of muscle since he first entered the league. The dude's a stud. And he has the right temperament, the right attitude. Ain't trying to befriend anybody. Very compelling interview he sat down and did with Woj, Adrian Wojnarowski, our extraordinary NBA insider. All of those things are true. But I personally am of the mindset that James Harden's the league MVP. And here's why I feel that way. And I want everybody to stay with me on this because I'm really interested in hearing your opinions. When I think about the Greek freak, I think about the athletes with length that he has around him and the exceptional coaching that's buffered him as well in Milwaukee. They're top three in both offense and defense. Budenholzer is going to win Coach of the Year honors. One could say Mike Malone in Denver, too, with the job that he has done. But I think Budenholzer, head and shoulders above everybody else, has proven that this year. When I look at James Harden, I'm like, that ain't about no D'Antoni system. It's not about defense. It's not about a collective effort. He has carried that franchise on his back Paul is. Chris Paul missed 24 games this year. Clint Capella has missed his share of games. Eric Gordon has missed his share of games. They didn't have Trevor Ariza until they picked up Kenneth Faried about 30 or 40 games into the season. I'm sorry. You look at the Houston Rockets, James Harden has carried that franchise on his back. He's had more than 5 games where he's dropped over 50. About 3 games where he's dropped over 60. Since he dropped like 50 or 51 on the Lakers December 13th. Since December 13th, he's averaged 40. And there's nothing you can say to me about James Harden. He has been absolutely, positively spectacular. And I cannot consciously look at somebody else and say, they're the MVP. I understand you talk about best player on best team, blah, blah, blah. I get that. And that definitely is the Greek freak. But if you look at the coaching of Mike Budenholzer and the collective defensive tenacity of the Milwaukee Bucks, the Greek freak's got a lot of help. He's got a lot of assistance. And oh, by the way, he's playing in a weaker conference. And not only is the East weak, but now it doesn't have LeBron. Now you juxtapose that to the West that does have LeBron and Durant and Steph Curry and Klay Thompson and Russell Westbrook and Paul George. Look, man, you cannot dismiss what we have seen from James Harden. That ain't system. That's assistant James Harden. James Harden has the ball in his hands. James Harden, ladies and gentlemen, has been averaging better than 29 points per game for the last 4 years. About a year or two before D'Antoni arrived, James Harden was averaging damn near 30. Now, that's not to knock Mike D'Antoni in any way. I'm simply making a point to point out somebody needs to take a pause and recognize how special James Harden is as an offensive talent. He's not the defensive player that Giannis is, not by a long shot, doesn't even try. But could Giannis do what he's doing offensively? You can only bully but so many people. James Harden's my MVP, y'all. He's just that great offensively. And I got to give him love on that level. 888-SAY-ESPN. It's 888-729-3776. You're listening live to the Stephen A. Smith Show, ESPN Radio, ESPN News. By the way, I'll touch on Kobe and what he had to say about himself, MJ, and LeBron in just a minute. That was Straight Talk Wireless, nationwide coverage in America's largest and most dependable 4G LTE networks. I'll also get into a discussion about who really is the best player in the world right now in basketball. We'll continue that discussion. Plus, we're talking Major League Baseball as well. Little NFL stuff to get into. It doesn't matter what it is. The Dallas Cowboys, the New York Giants, the Cleveland Browns. Doesn't matter. I'm right here. The Stephen A. Smith Show, ESPN Radio, ESPN News. By the way, do you have frequent heartburn? Like the kind where you have an acid stashed everywhere in case it pops up? You know what I mean. You keep some in your bag or your desk or your car or your nightstand. You have those chalky tablets ready for whenever and wherever heartburn strikes. But listen up. There's an easier way to deal with your heartburn.